Everybody knows their worth. The amount of there's millions of people running around saying, I know my worth, and never do anything. I try to convince nobody of anything. I have zero interest in convincing anybody that anything I say is right. Like zero. Like people are always like, Gary, how do you convince the clients to do social media? I'm like, I don't. I tell them what I believe, and hopefully they'll do something about it. And if not, then I can't wait to see them in 7 years when I can tell them, I told you so. You know, I really feel like I win either way every time. I really feel like that's what happens. I'll either be historically correct and I'll razz you. All these kids that are not signing with Vayner Sports right now, right? Because me and my brother have the sports agency, and we're coming in second a lot because they're enamored, but we're still new. And this agency that's been doing it for 40 years and did it for my favorite player feels like a smarter bet. It's crazy. I love it. There's a thing that came out about Kobe and Dwayne Wade this weekend, where Dwayne Wade was talking about how he broke Kobe's nose in an all-star game, and he's like, he called him like a day later, and Kobe was like, no, I love it. I love that you broke my nose. And everyone was just talking about how crazy Kobe was, and I was like watching that video, I was like, I so understand that. The only thing I like better than winning a piece of business is losing it. I genuinely enjoy it more.
How to understand the long game with Garyvee. The quickest path to happiness or more economics in business happens to be the thing that you love the most. If you're passionate about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then starting a YouTube and a podcast on this very subject is the perfect thing to do. It's called niche marketing. If you focus on the 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. period, you'll be consistent in making money and become a noted top expert on that very thing that you're passionate about. However, you have to balance. No level of success is worth damaging personal relationships. People love to say no about today, let alone the future. Garyvee is a blind day trader of every second of every day.
Look, I think you have to balance, because no level of professional success is worth, damaging personal relationships that you cherish. Now, my argument oftentimes is what makes you happy might be worth having a more difficult relationship with your spouse or your parents, and that's just real life. People don't like to say that out loud, but that's true. But first of all, you have to understand what relationships matter to you and what matters to you. And I think balance comes in a lot of different ways. Some people want to balance on every day, so they take 30 minutes or 4 hours or whatever they decide off. Other people like to balance within a week, within a month, within a year, and so I think that you have to communicate, and I think you owe it to the people you love the most to at least explain what your thinking is. And if they're willing to pick it up, what you're putting down, then that's great. And if they're not, then that's great too. So I think some people keep it inside. So I think you communicate it. That I think that you have to be empathetic, that a lot of times people are not gonna understand. I have basically, everything that I have been given accolades for, I was originally criticized for. I have no idea. A hypothesis I have definitely is voice is gonna be a player. I definitely believe that the new interface that's brewing is voice, and its impact will be as large as the mobile device when at scale, 15, 17 years from now. I'm not I get a lot of credit because of the way I invested in all the documentation of being right a lot, but what I try to remind people is when I was saying those things, it had already happened. I'm not predicting TikTok, it has 1.5 billion downloads. The kind of guess is that? It's just that people love to say no about today, let alone the future. I'm not worried about AR, blockchain, ML, VR, all of it's coming. I'm watching all of it, but no real people use it yet. And so people love to jump the gun on technology advancements ahead of the consumer behavior. I am blindly a day trader of this second. Before I worry about how to get, my AR capabilities down, why not maximize the shit out of today, right this second? LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, grossly underpriced. I am stunned by how many people here don't realize that the quickest path to happiness or more economics in business, given the context of this talk, happens to be in the thing that they love the most, yet they're not willing to eat for the next 3 to 5 years to get there. Let me explain. It blows me away that if you're ridiculously passionate about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, now stick with me, I know this is going weird, that starting your Instagram account, your podcast, and your YouTube channel about Leonardo and Michelangelo and putting out that content for a 3-year period in the long tail of the internet, in the way that niche marketing works, if you focus on that 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning around that world, that literally within 3 to 4 years, the practicality, if you're consistent, to making between $50,000 and $100,000 a year.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content.